Hi everyone, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to another video. It has been a while, but today I'm going to be sharing with you a fun technique to use with your stencils where you use them as a mask for your sprays. For this technique, I really love to use the mandala stencils from the Crafters Workshop. The specific one I'm using today is the Fancy Mandala. It's brand new, this new release. I love the thick pieces in it. It gives some really nice detail with your sprays that you use. The first thing you want to do though is attach it however you want to a piece of plain cardstock, not watercolor paper, cardstock. So watercolor paper lets the spray sit on top of it, whereas the regular cardstock is going to absorb the spray very quickly, so it doesn't blend as much, and that's the look I'm going for. So I've taped it to the back, and now I have my surface protected with an old towel. I found this the best way to kind of protect everything around me, and I'm just making sure that I have some tape on the back there to keep that positioned right in place. Now for my sprays today, I am using the fireworks sprays from Imagine Crafts. These have a little bit of shimmer in them, so whenever you use them, if they've set for any length of time, even like 30 seconds, give them a good shake. Make sure that all that shimmer powder is mixed up so it doesn't clog up your sprayer. This technique is going to work for any sprays you have on hand with any kind of color in them though, so don't think you need this exact spray. So what I like to do is go from pretty high up and just start to spray right directly over the top of that stencil. So because there's nothing holding it down to the paper, if you spray from the side, you kind of risk going underneath the stencil, so straight above. And I like to go from pretty high to get a nice splatter look, but if you want more of a puddled look where it gets a little messy, it might run under your stencil a little bit, go a little bit closer. And I will just continue to spray until I feel like I have enough of that color on there. Then I'm going to switch to green. Now the great thing about this technique is because we use that regular cardstock underneath, the colors don't bleed that much together. So even though I'm using blue and green together, I'm not getting a whole lot of mud here, really any at all to be quite honest, and it worked out really, really well. Now to finish this off, I am using some Irresistible spray from Imagine Crafts, but instead of spraying this, I am using the nozzle of this, pulling it out from the container and doing big flicks. That's going to give me some bigger splatter marks, and that's another great way to use your sprays in a different way with your stencils. Pull out that nozzle and just tap it. That's going to give you those nice big splatters. Then when you remove your stencil, you should have this nice masked off area that is just gorgeous. So depending on your sprays, how much you used, all that great stuff, some might seep under the edges. That's okay. If you want this a little bit more crisp, use a stencil spray on the back of it like a glue and then put it down. That's going to really seal up that area. Even rubber cement will work for that as well, kind of like I showed in my watercoloring with stencils video. Now you have all this great stuff on your stencil. Don't let it go to waste. If you want to, you can give it a spray with just some plain water and then place it down onto another piece of just clean, plain white cardstock. This is immediately going to absorb all that color and it's going to blend together and create this really beautiful watercolor effect. But the neat thing of it is it really doesn't seep out at all. I gave this a pretty generous spray. It just stays right where that stencil is, and when I pull it up, I've got this gorgeous reverse image of the stencil. It really is pretty. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 technique if you go this route. Now this takes just a little bit to dry with that Irresistible on it. You can use a heat gun if you want, but look at that. I absolutely love the way this one turned out. I didn't use my second print in a card, but I do have it saved off to the side for whenever I think up an idea. I didn't quite have enough time today to do it. So to finish this card off, I'm keeping it super simple. I'm stamping a happy birthday sentiment onto a piece of white cardstock with some VersaFine Clair and Nocturne. I'm using my Misty to stamp this, and this is about a 1¼ inch section of white cardstock that measures 4¼ inches long. Now in order to add a little something more to this, I'm going to just draw on some stitching. You could by all means take this through your sewing machine, but I'm just going to use my pen and my Tim Holtz ruler, line this up and just draw little tick marks. Then I'll flip it around, line it up the exact same length that I did on the other side, and I will go ahead and draw in some more tick marks on the other side with my black pen. I am using a micron pen because I like the way it writes, and I'm using my Tim Holtz ruler because it has all those great markings in it, so I get it perfect each and every time. Here's a look at that close up. I love the way this looks. I've forgotten how much I like the look of drawn on stitching. I'm going to have to go back and do some more of that on more of my cards now. To finish this off, I'm just going to mount that panel that I placed onto a piece of black cardstock that's its mat, and I'll mount that directly onto that panel with a little bit of dimensional adhesive. I am using a T-square ruler to line that up and make sure it's nice and straight, and then the whole entire panel was attached to an A2 top folding card base to finish it off. And there's a look at the completed card. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm keeping it shorter for right now. I hope that's okay with you guys. Don't forget, if you are interested in any of the supplies I use, they are all linked down in the description box below. Don't forget to head over to my blog. I've posted some more freebies there. Thanks for watching, everyone, and happy crafting.